You're listening to Me and Paranormal You with your host, Ryan Singer. It's more fun to believe. Third year bonus.
Hey everybody, so here's what we're going to do on today's episode. This is 30 year bonus 352, I believe, but it's going to be, all these things are kind of hybrid episodes as I'm traveling on the float, these float files, I guess. I'm going to give you some commentary. I'm going to show you some footage of me casting a footprint when I was in the Rocky Mountains, and then I'm going to, I'll be giving you a play-by-play of that actually, and kind of showing you the results, and what I would have done differently, or what I did correctly, maybe the first time I ever tried to cast a footprint. And then we're going to go to my buddy Matthew Jackson's place, and we're going to do some cabin sessions, ITC style. So I'm very excited about that. And I might even give you a little commentary on a pretty intense meditation I had when I was in Illinois, doing the Gateway at my buddy Chris's place. But yeah, so let's get into it. And also, patreon.com/Ryan Singer. $3 a month gets you no commercials ever on any of this stuff. And you can watch on Spotify. So...
This is just over 11.5 boot size.
You can definitely see toes.
I mean, I'm not good enough to understand mid-tarsal break, if that's on there, but that would be indicative of a bipedal creature. Wow. Okay, so here's me just kind of, putting it all together, doing my best to get the powder mixed in and everything. I mean, I'm going to be showing you here in a second, the instructions that were being used, where, kind of a step-by-step thing, in case you've never done this before, like I had never done it before until now. I had seen it done, but I had never, done it. So we get to the part where you get the powder together, and then it's just about finding the right combo. And so you're supposed to slowly mix together the plaster of Paris into the water, trying to make sure there's no bubbles, so you can have a solid mixture without a bunch of air pockets in it when it's settling and drying. So we did that there in a little basket. Now, this is the cute little thing I got here from the internet. That just kind of does a step-by-step with illustrations on it, how to save animal tracks as plaster casts. I'm going to give a shout-out to whoever this was. I don't even know if there are names on this, but you can kind of goes by the steps. It tells you what you need here, like what are the supplies. You need a bottle of water, an old spoon. That's not what we used. You don't necessarily want to be wearing anything fancy when you're doing this, because you might be getting some plaster on you. So just basic shopping list. You need something to mix it, and you need the water and the plaster and something to mix it with, and then pour it out of, right? Maybe set up a barrier, right, where you're going to be pouring, as well. You want to add it slowly but surely into the mixture, right, as it's going. Like I said, so you don't get the air pockets. You want to make enough, obviously, to cover the whole track and a little bit around the surrounding area. You don't want lumps in the mixture. And then you kind of let it ooze out. I made mine too thick. That was the problem. Mine was too thick on the pancake batter style action, and it really kind of jammed me up. That was the problem that I had there. But you can see, and, we only had to let it set maybe for about 30 minutes. It was great. And, here's the footprint, and, I'm showing you kind of size here. It was bigger than my 11.5 size boot, so maybe a 12-inch cast, and then this is the final. You can kind of see the final results here after we pulled it out, or I lifted it up. I separated it by kind of digging under, and then it lifted in one piece. I got to tell you, this one, it lifted. It dried very quickly, maybe because it was 90 degrees on this particular day, so it was very hot. So it dried up very quickly for me. And then it all lifted up in one solid piece, which was really, really convenient. And so that worked out. And, I cleaned it off best I could. I did not take it with me because I didn't want to transport this thing with me while I'm driving around the country. I don't want it to break. So I ended up leaving it with a friend, so I didn't have to have it in my car, very long. And then that's what we're doing with that. So that's just a snippet. I wasn't focused on filming all of that, so that's why there's just a little bit of snippets on there. But I thought everybody might be interested in a little bit of that. So I wanted to include that there for you because I know I think I said it like a week or two ago that I was going to drop that in. So that's that. So now let's get out to the. Actually, before we do that, hold on. I'm going to tell you about this meditation. Okay, so I'm trying this new thing where I kind of give you a vertical here. If you're watching the podcast, I'm trying to sync, and I'll have to sync the audio, so it should be fine. Nonetheless, I got to tell you about this meditation. So I'm in Mason City, Illinois, for a few days before working in Peoria, Illinois, before going to the Renwick Mansion in Davenport. And by the way, we filmed some stuff last night after the show. The show was incredible. We've got at least one EVP that I think is pretty damn compelling, which was we got an EVP last time. I posted that over on the Patreon page, but we've got a very compelling EVP this time that I think is a direct hit. So that'll probably be on next week's episode. Nonetheless, I did some video filming and things like that while I was there, but because it's a super haunted, really cool mansion in Davenport, Iowa, the Quad Cities. I'm in Mason City this past week, hanging out with my buddy Chris and Dr. Gonzo, who's a legendary San Francisco comedian from back in the day. He used to open for Huey Lewis and the News. Chris and Gonzo are huge baseball fans. We go do water aerobics. I have a good birthday while I'm out there, hitting Menards and Walmart and Starbucks and Sonic, getting milkshakes, getting nice coffees, opened a pack of baseball cards. All in all, just a great birthday. Hanging out with my dear buddy Chris. Funny comedian, met him back in Dayton, now owns a club out in Mason City. I go out there for a few days. We like to work on projects. So we're working stuff, our buddy Darren from Smokies, formerly Smokies. We're trying to set up a podcast studio in the club and a film situation in the comedy club. That'll just be full time in there, right? So nonetheless, we got things we're doing and watching a lot of baseball. I do a meditation at night because Chris is kind of waking up at 7 a.m, so he's going to bed early. So it's just me. So I'm like, I'll do some meditation. So I get into Gateway, wave 4. I'm doing a nonverbal communication, one of those, in I believe it's wave 4. And you just kind of see what happens right out there after you go through all the steps you've already learned. Right? So these meditations build on each other. And it's real dark, it's pitch black. It's a little bit hot, which it's supposed to be while you're doing these meditations. Apparently it's supposed to be a little bit warm. So I'm doing that. And then all of a sudden a face shows up, right? I've got my eyes closed. It's total darkness. And a face appears, almost like the comedy tragedy masks, like one of those faces. It's not like a full on face that I can see all the features, or like the head or something like that. I can see like the eyebrows or the brow, the eyes, kind of like an outline of a nose or a snout, actually, I think maybe, and a mouth kind of thing. It wasn't human. I didn't get the sense that it was human, or at least it wasn't human anymore, for sure, right? And so I am, I don't know, about 25 minutes into this meditation, and this face shows up, and then I kind of, at first it alarms me just a little bit, but not in a scary way, but in a way that kind of maybe takes me out of the moment for just a second or two. And then I kind of like, oh, no, don't scare this thing away, right? And so I kind of, the vibration starts happening, the feelings, all the hair, pops up, and you start feeling this like resonance just going like shooting through your whole body, right? And that's what's happening in this moment. And this face is just kind of getting a little bit closer, but then it's kind of staying, it's not like it's coming in for a kiss or something. Don't be weird about it. It's just kind of looking at me, and I'm just like, I'm in awe of this thing. I'm in awe of this face. And then it kind of morphs a little bit, and it's kind of changing just a little bit, but it's kind of blue, right? It's kind of like dark,
dark, barely lit, purplish violet, maybe. Maybe indigo is the color I'm looking for. Anyway, that's the kind of vibe of the color of this thing, of the features, right? And I did a good job of kind of leaning into it because it stayed. It didn't leave. The vibrations continue, begin to intensify. I start to get, I don't know, these are kind of emotional moments when these very intense things happen during meditations. You've probably experienced that. And you can feel yourself welling up with tears, right? Those moments, that's kind of what's happening. And then whatever this thing, whoever this thing, whichever this thing, whenever this thing, let's cover all our bases here. I sensed that its right arm, whatever that means, reached out and kind of like, when you reach out your arm and you put it on a friend's shoulder, it reached out its right arm, whatever that arm thing was. And I kind of sensed it, but didn't see it. I perceived it, I suppose. And it went onto my left shoulder. Its right arm onto my left shoulder. And with a sense of, hello, it's going to be okay kind of energy, which is weird. Not weird, but I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting. Encountering this astral face in the darkness, in the abyss of darkness. And then boom, it puts its hand or paw or whatever it is on my left shoulder. And then I become very emotional. And there's a connection there. I feel like we had a physical connection. Whoever, whichever, whenever, whatever this thing, this being is, my sense is it's not human. But it's very much alive. It's very much a thing. And I'm connected to it. It's connected to all of us. Probably it's not like my thing, right? And it's a comforter. It's a protector. Because, during the gateway meditations, there is you do have the mantra, the prayer, whatever people want to call it, setting the intention, and where you desire contact, and you also desire protection from all the things that will seek to give you less than your stated desires, right? And the stated desire is, you can change it, you can make it whatever you want, but in general, it's like, hey, I want these things to serve like my highest purpose, and what can progress me down this path, right? And whoever that dude was, we connected. I know that it's out there, and I hope to be able to see. I did not do Gateway in the Renwick Mansion last night. I could have, but we were up until 2 a.m. hanging out, a bunch of comedians. I think there was 5 of us that stayed there, plus the owners were there. We were having a great time, and a couple friends showed up, other comedians who lived in town. So it wasn't a, we had a late night that was a lot of fun. Comedy, it was full-on comedy night, but we got the ghost box out, got some things done, asked some questions. I think we got some responses. Like I said, we'll examine that, and then we'll get into it maybe next week. It's either next week or the week after. We'll see. But this meditation was bonkers. I've never had that happen to me during a meditation, let alone a gateway meditation. I've never experienced like that contact. I've had a thing where I've seen my higher self and interacted with my higher self, I believe, right? As it guided me up the tower of my life, as I've called it, and showed me the rooms of my life, which represent different periods of my life and different things in my life. So I've had pretty intense things like that with, entities or beings or whoever, like, people, I guess, if we want to call them that. But this was different. This was only kind of like, you could only kind of perceive the face. It almost, think of it this way. If you're old enough to remember the movie, The Never-Ending Story. Remember when the Gomorrah was in the cave and you could only see like its eyes light up and it's like teeth maybe and it's not. It was kind of like that, but it definitely wasn't the Gomorrah. It wasn't there to try to, kill Atreyu to make sure that nothing triumphed. But but yeah, so that was pretty rad. That was pretty rad. So now we're going to get into the ITC sessions. Now, I got to say, I'm waiting for a phone call right now, even as I'm recording this, for an update. I just want you to know that Matt and I talk about it because I had a phone conversation with Greg Feynman right before we got into the ITC sessions, and we got some pretty bad news about Mama Sue, and I don't know where that stands. But as far as I know, we're still holding steady. We're holding out hope that Mama Sue is going to bounce back a little bit. And, all of our prayers, our thoughts, our mojo, all that stuff, we're sending it to Mama Sue, letting her know we love her. And we're hoping she can, ultimately heal. And if not heal, find comfort and be comfortable, during her transition. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that because I think there is some conversation in there. I don't want you to be like freaking out, like, well, what's going on with Mama Sue? Because we all love Mama Sue, right? So Mama Sue is a beloved person, and for damn good reason. I don't know if there's anyone in this life that's more lovable than Mama Sue. So sending love to you, Mama Sue, as we record this, but just wanted to give you that heads up. So now let's go. I'm going to take you back in time, but it'll be your present. And it will be the future, actually, because I'm talking about, because it hasn't happened yet on the show, but it's the past, but it's also the present. The ITC Bunker of Matthew Jackson. Let's get into that. So, just real quick, what are you doing here, Matt? Without,
Trying to resurrect the dead. Trying to fire up Prism here.
Okay. We are firing up, possibly, we are firing up Prism on this episode of Me and Paranormal You. We are in, what do we call it? The bunker, the ITC bunker?
The ITC bunker, yeah.
We are in the ITC
bunker. Exclusive behind the look. Into my son's closet, essentially. All my secrets are out.
Look at some of this stuff here. Look at that. Let's look over here. The Out of This World series of books right here. Got some Childish Gambino on the LP over here. I'm just going to grab one of these books without him. I didn't ask permission, but you can bet it's a weirdo book. I guarantee it. Let's see what this one is. That one's... Against the grain. Oh, some of this stuff also might be nephews. Just a little more behind the scenes here of the ITC Bunker. You got the Hellboy collection, it looks like. Is that Sergeant Slaughter?
I'm a huge Mike Mignola fan.
So for those who aren't able to watch the video here, I'm just kind of, snooping around, doing some behind the scenes, BTS as they call it. We're looking at his DVDs collection, some other books, and things like that in the bunker. The cabin is so incredible. I had such an amazing time there, hanging out with Matt and his wife and his son, who I call nephew. He's got all kinds of books: Weird Indiana, Ghosts, Oddities in Print, Jim Morrison book, The Occult by Colin Wilson, Dictionary of Demons, Confessions of a Ghost Hunter. There's an Encyclopedia of Spirits, a Dictionary of Angels, the Encyclopedia of Ghosts and Spirits, Supernatural America. Just everything you could want in an occult collection.
We're calling an audible, right?
Yeah.
We're not using the Prism device with some issues with getting Prism up and running. What box is this?
This is the Halte Paranormal RCA reverse speech box.
And you and I have had some pretty compelling conversations with this box when we've used it before.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And
It's by far one of my best ghost boxes I've ever had. For one, it gives great results. For another, I mean, most people, they misunderstand, like when you say reverse speech, they think that, like if a box is sweeping in reverse, that they're getting reverse speech through that box, which isn't the case. All it's doing is sweeping the band, the frequency band, like FM or AM. They're basically just turning the dial the opposite direction. This box actually takes the audio and reverses the audio. So everything that you hear come out of this thing is in full reverse speech. So if you hear something come through in like forward speech, it's actually that much more compelling. So you don't get the interference of like a Coca-Cola ad or a radio song, or a radio coming through, or a song coming through on the radio, I should say. So it's actually fully reversed, man. So it's a really unique device.
Very, very cool. We've heard Ra, God, Cosmos specifically as responses to direct questions regarding those things. Post Town.
This is the box I did all my cabin sessions with too. So I've always had a pretty great connection with this particular device.
You see something? You hear something, Tuna?
She does not like storms.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why she's down here.
Okay. It's stormy. It's okay, honey. It's okay. You're safe with us, okay? Cutie. Okay, so we're going to get some things set up, and then we're going to be doing... I'm going to be bringing to you some... We're going to be doing... we'll be videotaping the session that we're going to be doing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be good to go here in 2 seconds.
Cool, yeah. I'm setting up some recordings, and we're going to dive into some of the latest articles as well that Matthew has written over at the Paraholic Substack and the Obscuravox Substack. We were talking about immediately showing up to a location and expecting the action to happen. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, this is I use the metaphor, it's a first date. You don't have to walk down the aisle on your first date.
All right.
But I think what we want to try here is potentially, instead of doing, what we often do is bring in like an idea of like what we want to get to. And there's been other times where you and I specifically, last time we used this box, I had very clear intentions about lines of questioning. Mm-hmm. When I was trying to establish contact with whatever ET intelligence I believed, I initially contacted at Post Town after doing C5 Inside.
Right.
And I thought it was going to be from the Procyon star system, and it ended up being what we believed to be the Sirius star system, because as soon as I abandoned the Procyon questions and just threw out Sirius, not even thinking for a chance that was where this was going to go, all the boxes started lighting up.
That's crazy.
And then later we busted out this bad boy, mm-hmm. and we got very specific responses about who we thought we were talking, who's communicating with us.
Because it said it was God.
And then we said, what is your name? Mm-hmm. It said Ra.
Yeah.
And then we asked, where are you from? And we both heard Cosmos.
Cosmos, yeah.
So that was bonkers.
Yeah.
And so I think this time what we're going to do is we're going to bust this box out. We're going to turn it on now. Or here in a few minutes, we'll turn it on. But I think we're going to try to see if this box wants to tell us what we should talk about. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So we'll clear our heads, we'll center ourselves, ground ourselves, whatever, and try to just clear our minds, relax, set an intention that we are open to whatever conversation or whoever has a message for us, mm-hmm. that wants to come through. Because there's all kinds of different things that we could try to get information about, right?
Yeah. I mean, we both have craziness and projects and things that we're working on, places we've been, places we're going. But yeah, man, we could just see if something wants to come through and tell us something.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it could be a brand new thread gets born here tonight that'll consume the rest of our lives.
Yeah, or we could hear from Baal.
Well,
This will be cute.
it'll be fun. Maybe the Lord of the Netherworld will come in and command us to do his bidding. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
We're not even kidding. I'm totally kidding about it. We're not setting that intention in any way whatsoever. And then after this, we're going to circle back and we're going to do this and we'll see how long it goes. And we might switch to a different device. We might, depending on how we like this and how it sounds and everything. But another aspect of this is we'll circle back at the end and maybe dive a little bit deeper into, some of the things we were discussing or that you've written about recently. And when it comes to, practical application of such a thing, these concepts and these ideas are wonderful. Mm-hmm. And, someone might be, well, what are these in action? What do they look like?
All right.
And we could even kind of do a version of that here.
Yeah.
As well. So,
let's see how much we get cussed out first.
This box has a tendency. I mean, right when you turned it on,
Yeah.
I heard, F you, Matt.
Yeah. And I told you what I tell you, though. This box was going to be fussy at me. Because I really had like an imprint with this device. I mean, I used it solely for like a long time. And I don't think I've had it on for, maybe at least a year, if not longer. So I think it's mad that it's been in a case. And yeah, I have the superstition that these devices all have personalities. So I might be in for a little bit of a roughing up when we fire this.
We have to let it know that it's Uncle Ryan is here and misses it very much.
That's right. Yeah.
And would be happy to take custody of you for a while if Daddy Matt has been neglecting you and keeping you in the basement in a cage.
I don't feed my children. Right, Luna?
We got Luna here with us, the beautiful puppy. Hey, puppy. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. She's like, why are you messing with me right now? Get off of me. Okay, let's do that. Let's set our intentions here. What was that?
Okay, so we have a tin ceiling, like in this basement, and that was something on top of the tin ceiling, like in between the tin ceiling and the floor above it. That just.
How often does that happen?
Well, this is my first time sitting here doing an ITC session with Ryan Singer. That's happened. I've never heard that before. And when you got the call from Greg.
That was right there.
Yeah, when you got the call from Greg, something rattled in the actual ITC bunker.
And I wonder if we have that. I doubt my mic. I did record some of that. Maybe I'll drop that in right here.
Okay.
In the light, I don't know, but with the way things have been happening in this house, you kind of got to look towards the paranormal sometimes. And I basically just said, Monica, if this is you, stop flickering the light right now. And the light immediately stopped flickering. And it stopped flickering for like 2 minutes, where I let it go for a couple minutes. And then I said, Monica, if this is you, flicker the light again. And nothing happened. And I said, if this is someone else, flicker the light again. If this is not Monica, if this is someone else, flicker the light again. And it started flickering again. So, and it's happening on cue, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, and when I go to study, as soon as I sit down to study, it starts flicking. As soon as I sit down to study the Word of God, it starts flickering, and it's just, it's weird, I don't know really what to make of it, but, I'm going to mess around with my thermal imager when it comes in tomorrow, and hopefully, I can see something with it.
Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow night, so.
Will do, man.
I'll keep you posted on what I hear about, Tubi and everything else, and then, obviously if something happens before you hear from me, call me and let me know regarding Mama Sue. But I love you, buddy, and I'm thinking about you, and I appreciate the call, and we'll talk tomorrow.
All right, brother.
Okay, brother. Okay, bye now.
Bye.
I've had a lot of interesting things happen in this basement. I mean, because this has been like the source or the hub, the heart of like a lot of my experiments. And things will pop off down here. And there have been lots of times when Joshua Sean and I have been working on Prism, and we've been on FaceTime calls, and we're streaming the audio back and forth, that things are happening simultaneously in my house, and they're happening in his house in California. So we'll see what happens.
And just to be clear, I'm supposed to be sleeping right here tonight?
Yes, yeah.
So
that door bolts, and then there's another door upstairs, and the trap door in between on the staircase.
So I can't get upstairs even if I wanted to?
No. You're fucked.
I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
But there's some lotion in the basket.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We're going to do that now. And then when we come back, Matt and I are going to get into the Holte Paranormal Reverse Speech ITC box, and we're going to see who and or what is open to having a conversation and what they want to discuss with us here in the bunker. Hell yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm here. Real faint though. Let's see. Do you know Ryan or I?
Are you hearing a high-pitched? It almost sounds like feedback coming through.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
I don't know. I think it might be like an atmospheric thing.
It almost feels like a harmonic thing.
Yeah.
It felt very strange in here right after the call with Greg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of changed the whole just resonance of the room, the vibe.
We are here opening ourselves for conversation, trying not to guide or shape or choose the direction. Is there something you would like to talk about with us? Fuck you.
This is kind of what happens when you say, hey, free range ITC, baby.
Yeah. This is the fruits you talk about.
Yeah. This is like before we hit play when we weren't recording, I said we really should talk about the Trickster, because, I mean, this is like open invitation for Trickster proving grounds, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of this, you know, with ITC, it's like, what are you willing to hear? You know? And so it's a good gut check sometimes, you know, when you're doing these sessions.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here and we're going to fast forward. I know listening to a podcast, it might not be ideal to be listening to a ghost box sweeping constantly, you know, for long periods of time. So that was just a few minutes of that. And then we're gonna cut that off, and I'm gonna skip ahead to the point where there's Matthew and I. Eventually, we decide to make a pivot. Now, before we do that, I do want you to know that we did get some things. If you're watching the video, you can kind of see it, but it's on mute. Matthew and I were having a conversation at dinner earlier that night. It was about a trip that he had taken recently, and he was over in Austria and things. Anyway, as you might imagine, Nazis and all that kind of folklore and their obsession with the paranormal, Hitler, et cetera, came up during dinner. And we thought we were hearing that through the ghost box, but we didn't pursue that. We weren't. We did open ourselves up. We set an intention to to kind of okay, what do you want to talk to us about? Do you have questions for us? Which is something that I'd never really done during an ITC session before. So I thought so it was fun. It was interesting for sure to try that. Now we're going to skip ahead here because now what we do is Prism didn't work. That's why we're using the Holte Paranormal reverse speech box. Matthew's got like 70 different ITC devices in the bunker. But then he drops it on me. You'll hear what he drops on me here in a second. So let's just skip ahead to that now.
It feels like, for whatever reason, we're not really getting. I mean, I feel like there was a couple things that maybe came through.
Yeah.
But
I just think whatever's going on tonight with the storm, and then plus being down here, probably just having a hard time connecting in general.
Should we try something else?
Yeah, let me get Prism Light.
We're going to try Prism Light.
Yeah.
Okay.
You grab that. Let me stop this real quick.
Yeah.
We switch gears.
This is Prism Light. I mean, I've already heard multiple sentences before we even started recording.
Yeah.
So,
Make sure
focus.
we're offline here.
Okay, so to be clear for people, now on this device, on Prism Light, we're not disconnected from the Wi-Fi. There's no word banks.
Correct.
And there is no radio stations and or anything else that Prism is drawing from.
This is all just on like studio grade audio software. This is what Prism is constructed of. And typically really what we're trying to do is just filter different colors of sound and remove anything problematic that would be problematic to it's talking to us, problematic to human speech, and there's communication there. So, and there shouldn't be. But you've experienced full Prism. This is Prism Light that Josh helped hook me up with before I took off for my European adventure. So this is the portable version of Prism.
Wow. So Joshua Sean, who's been on the program before, has been on the show. You can go back and listen to that. It's an incredible interview. Highly recommended. We got to get him back on the program.
Yeah.
If we can pin him down.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Ryan. Nice to talk with you again.
It just dropped a full sentence before that. Hello? One thing I've learned with Prism Light is there's a lot of communication in those whispers. So we're doing an intention experiment where we just want to open this conversation up to anyone that might want to come through and talk to us.
It feels like we're eavesdropping.
Yeah.
In a room.
And now it's like they're talking to us? What do we do now? Notice how quiet it got? Are you there? Do you hear me?
Who the fuck is this? Together?
Focus. Together? They're talking about you. Did you hear that?
Wow.
Hello?
Is there anything you want to talk to us about? Any questions you have for us?
So yes, we do.
What can we help you with? Do you want to know what it's like? The drinks? This? Can you say what this is? Coke.
I heard one of the listeners say Diet Coke, but I could be freaking driven.
Well, it's Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. Get it straight for some.
You want me to take a drink and tell you what it's like? It's kind of warm.
Have you ever had a Coke before? Yes, I did have Coke.
With chips? It's delicious. So what did you do? Break through the veil and talk to the other side? We talked about drinking Coke and having chips.
Were you in a movie theater?
Movies? I heard movies. And for people listening, I don't have best ITC ears in the moment. I heard the whisper say, the movies.
Which makes you wonder, it's like, are we talking to someone who was alive, or are we talking to someone who is currently alive and we're bridging this connection somehow, you know? Maybe we're talking to someone who's sleeping. Like we're in their subconscious.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting. Now, if you have other questions about what it's like to be alive in this physical body here on Earth, those are like some of the questions that I know Matt and I are qualified to answer. Beyond that, I don't know.
Assuming they were never human before?
Yeah, or maybe that it's been so long since they've been human, they don't know what it's like now, or there's new things. Or... Are you there?
I heard something about questions.
Secrets? What? That was a full sentence. I don't understand exactly what it was, but... Okay, I'm chiming in here. Just a quick pause. I'm going to post the screenshot of this because I think that it is interesting at the very least, and maybe at the most, it is utterly fascinating and kind of mind-blowing. The screenshot I am going to place in here is the auto transcription situation thing that Adobe Express or Adobe Premiere Pro will do. It will generate text for all of your video clips as long as you ask it to, right? And then you can make subtitles for that. And let's drop that in right here. Okay, so if you're watching the podcast, you can see this, but I'm going to read it for you just in case you're not, because I know not everybody can watch video. So it picks up with the assuming they never were human before, yeah, or maybe it's been so long since I've been human. They don't know what it's like now or these things since. Are you there? It's a very simple answer. And then it says, but it's still secrets. It's just ... It's strange. What? That was a full sentence. I don't understand exactly what it was, but that is me. That is me picking up with, what? That was a full sentence. We can play that clip again. Maybe I'll just loop that, but Matthew and I are talking, and we're saying that it's, they don't, or maybe it's been so long since they've been human, they don't know what it's like now or the new things since. Are you there? And then it's just, it's a very simple answer, but it's still secrets. It's strange. That's what Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, just to be clear here, let's play it one more time. And then you can hear what I say and you can hear what Adobe Premiere Pro thinks has transcribed. And by the way, transcribing that other stuff, the whole tape paranormal box, very difficult. There's very few words that will come through because it's mostly just static. With Prism, it's mind-blowing. I could spend 3 weeks going just through this session. But I want to get this out for you. But okay, let's loop that real quick again, just that last part.
Assuming they were never human before?
Yeah, or maybe it's been so long since they've been human, they don't know what it's like now, or there's new things. Or... Are you there?
I heard something about questions.
Secrets? What? That was a full sentence. I don't understand exactly what it was, but... Okay, so you can kind of see that. I mean, you can hear what we said. So it's strange. And then I jump on, what? That was a full sentence. Are you there? Matthews at one point says something about questions, but what it transcribes is it's a very simple answer, which neither one of us said. I said secrets, but it transcribes, but it's still secrets. It's strange. What I say, that was a full sentence. I don't understand exactly what it was, but so what this is indicative of what it's like to experience a Prism session in the moment. You can't really pick up on everything that's happening here, right? And that's what's so mind-blowing about Prism, and even Prism Light, which has melted my face. And I think I say that actually. I think I actually say that right after this. But it's just such a true thing that it's like you just ask me a million times and I'll give you the same answer. There is such a density of conversation and communication through Prism and Prism Light that it is impossible in the moment to understand the depth of the communication you are receiving and the conversation that you actually are having. It's impossible for someone like me who I'm working on getting my ITC ears better. Matthew is very good at it in the moment because he's such a ITC pro. But this Prism Light is blowing my face off at that moment. And there are some other things that happen as well. Let's see if we can get to that now. This device blows my face off.
Mm-hmm. The word property. Are you talking about this property? Don't forget. Fucking tell us.
Saturday. Okay, so I'm stopping it again because right after it says, right after Matthew says, fucking tell us, Saturday, that now it's picking up the Adobe Premiere Pro transcription is picking up the words, so she sustained confusion for 6 months. So she sustained confusion for 6 months after we're asking, or what property are you talking about, right? And I have to tell you, the only place that I've ever used Prism previously is a property in Florida where there is a confusion abound down there. This session right now is kind of freaking me out a little bit. I'm actually by myself in Ohio as I'm recording this on a quick pit stop, and I got to tell you, I'm getting a little bit freaked out because I'm just scrolling through some of the other transcription from this session, and this goes on much longer, and it's like I can't even wrap my brain around it. We did do a thing where we wanted everyone just to have their own ITC session and see what they heard and to message me. So, oh God, we're almost running out of time already. So, and there's still like 20 minutes of this Prism Light session to go. Let me see how to wrap this up. Have you ever shown yourself in any way to either of us or communicated with us before?
Yes, we have.
That's what you heard?
Mm-hmm. Who did you show yourself to, either myself or Ryan?
Fitz?
Yeah.
Fitz?
And he's talking about location, mountains,
In the sky?
property.
Go outside?
Yeah,
Are you outside right now?
we are. Look at the. Air, something.
Do you want me to look outside right now?
Yes.
Can I open this? Oh God, it's so black out here. It is so black out here. Oh my God, I need a flashlight. I can't go out there. It's so dark.
Gotta go get
Right now, keep it rolling.
there might be one that no light. There might be one kind of shaped like a club. It might have a battery. There you go.
It is so dark outside. I'm not a coward.
It's not time.
Oh my God.
Okay, Ryan's outside. That's where you wanted him, right? Sorry, I spoke over you. Did you say Greg is? What's Greg's last name? You sound super agitated. Do you know Ryan's buddy Greg? Can you see this guy out there?
Oh my God, you can see every star.
Really? This is cleared up. It was storming earlier, that's why.
You can see every star out there. It's crazy. Did they laugh at me when I went outside?
No, I got a little like chippy for a minute. I thought I heard it say Greg. So then I asked what Greg's last name was, and I may have caught like half of his last name, but
Make it stop snowing.
help us.
Greg's help it. You gonna help us? Maybe I'll go back and do my damnedest to try to transcribe some of this part.
I think you'll hear a lot on the microphone recording of this.
So, for people watching the podcast on video, you'll be able to see. Is there anything we should be sharing with people?
Whoa. I'm back. So testing, I'm back. And it got real chaotic there for a second. Is it okay to ask about that phone call? And just...
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is there... I had a phone call with Greg earlier about Mama Sue. Is there any information you can give us about Mama Sue's health? We're very worried about Mama Sue right now. Do you have a message for Mama Sue you want me to pass along? What did you hear?
Monica.
You heard Monica?
I think that's what I heard.
Fuck. Is this Monica? Can you get us in contact with Monica? Why am I hearing Fitz now? Feels like there's one or at the most two people now talking to us.
I think I said you have disrespected me, maybe, or something like that. But that could have been internal dialogue. What does Greg know?
Something about the footage. Is there anything I should know about Monica or Fitz or Mama Sue? Investigate?
Mm-hmm.
What can I tell Greg to help him with his investigation?
Search.
Search?
I thought I heard say search.
What are we searching for? All right, so we have to take a break here. This is actually going to be a two-parter. I didn't realize it was going to be a two-parter until I sat down and started editing this bad boy together. So there's a little bit of a cliffhanger. To say the least, I'm trying to remember. I've been on such a whirlwind out here on the float. From I feel like I'm just bouncing around constantly. Trying to get these edited. Transitioning to having video for every episode it's a little more work, to say the least, editing video and exporting all those files as opposed to just audio, but I do believe that it's definitely worth it, and I'm enjoying the process. Now, I got to tell you this, I totally forgot that this thing went such a Greg, Mama Sue, here in Fitz. And now, granted, all that transcription that you did see, if you're watching the video, that was Adobe Premiere generated. That wasn't me or Matt going through and listening and reviewing. I haven't had time to do that other than in the moment here while I'm going through and editing it. I started editing this maybe about 5 hours ago. So So I've gone through a little bit of it, but it's just there's other parts too that I remember that we hear. We hear a name specifically, and I'm going to try to find that, make sure that'll be in part 2. But it's just so bonkers because I've missed a couple phone calls from Greg today, and I haven't been able to hear back yet. Let's see. It's quite late actually right now, even though there's a time difference. But I think he's probably zonked out. But so we'll have more information here soon on all this. I don't know if this podcast is just completely bonkers. This episode might be completely bonkers. So, I mean, hey, maybe you like that. And if so, then, good. I'm glad. I like it. I do like that. Oh, there's the music coming in. Let me mute that so it doesn't, feedback on me. So, okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode. And like I said, we'll have a part 2 coming soon. But in the meantime, I'll be at Go Bananas Comedy Club this weekend, 17th through the 20th of July, recording a new album. I'd love to have you laugh on the album, so come out if you can. Then I'll be at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana, the weekend after that. And then I'll be in Asheville, I'll be in Nashville, I'll be in Utica, the 15th, 16th, 17th of August with Karen Rontowski, upstate New York, doing paranormal storytelling shows. I hope to see you out there, and if not, I'll just see you at the watering hole on the astral plane.